Hello! If you're new here, my name is Colleen and I'm pleased you found the channel today. For my returning friends and family, I am so happy to have you back, and I want to thank you for your continued support of this channel. And today I look forward to bringing you two Christmas sides. They could be anytime sides, but we're going to use them right now for Christmas sides. I've not made either of these dishes before, so they're new to me as well, so you might see me referring to the recipe. They were different, and I thought that it would be great if we had something that was a little different than a green bean or a Brussels sprout, which seem to be two popular side dishes lately, and I feel like they've kind of run their course. So let's try these two dishes out today together, and I will give you my honest opinion about them when I'm done with them, and I hope that they'll be something that you can add to your list of food items that you're putting on your Christmas table this year. So I'm going to grab the start of the ingredients and be right back, and we'll get going on the first side dish. Now this isn't my recipe. This is a recipe for Noki Stuffing, and I feel like the way this dish would come together would be good almost as a main dish, but I think it's going to make a substantial side dish as well. So I've written out the recipe, but I will give you the link in the description box below to where you can find the ingredients if you're having trouble following along as I just mix things together. So to start with, I've lined a baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper, and I need 2 pounds of gnocchi. This can be fresh or frozen, and I've tried to do the math because my American friends don't understand the 500 gram thing, and it's been a while since I had to use my skills for conversion, so I converted this in advance. These, whoops, there goes one on the fly. These gnocchi are fresh. I got them off the grocery store shelf. They're not from homemade. That'll be another day. 500 grams, 2 500 gram packages is just a little over 2 pounds. So this is going to be pretty substantial, and this is what the recipe called for. And I am just going to try and get them into a single layer, or close. Get them broken apart at the very least. I'm going to give them a drizzle of olive oil, and we're looking at about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to give them a little shake of salt all over them, and give them a good mix up. And then these are going to go into a 450 degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes until they are golden brown. I'm going to try and keep them in a single layer. And there we go. So I'll stick these in the oven, wash my hands, and then I will be back for the next part of this dish. So next we're going to get to work on the meat in this dish, the sausage, which I understand is a pretty common stuffing ingredient. It's not something that I have made here in Canada. I'm not sure how popular it is here in Canada actually, but I've seen a lot of recipes that include sausage. So I have 500 grams, or about 1 pound, not quite a pound, about 12 ounces of sausage, and this is mild Italian. And I'm just going to turn around and plug in my electric frying pan to get this going. So I have here some mild Italian sausage, and I'm just removing them from their casing Just drawing my knife down the edge of them and to score them, to take the casings off. And I'm not sure that I have ever had stuffing that had sausage in it before. I feel like it's maybe not a Canadian thing, although I only live in one small part of the country. So in other parts of the country, it might totally be a thing. I'm not sure. So now I'm going to break these up, add a little bit of oil to my frying pan, break these up in there, and start to brown them. And then I'll come back and start on chopping up an onion. There really isn't any way for me to make frying something in my kitchen quiet. And I don't feel like I'm doing you justice if I skip ahead through these parts, because I like you to know that you can do things in real time and what that real time might be. So I'm going to just use my trusty old flipper, and I'm going to break that meat up a little bit, maybe turn it down a little bit because it's sounding a little hot, and then we'll get on with the onion. There's, you know, anytime that you're making a new recipe, you're not sure of all the steps. And today, this is a new recipe, so it may take me a few minutes to get everything organized here. But if you're making it in your kitchen for the first time, you may not be any more organized than I am. And I can hear that clanking. And I know that I should put a towel underneath there, because I know that the sound is amplified on your side. Let me just get organized. And hopefully this will help do the trick. And I'm just peeling it off. This is a medium-sized onion. Might have to get a little more in than this one's looking kind of sad. So I am going to peel another layer off. And I'm going to chop this onion up, and I'm just going to set it aside here in this bowl for when I need it. And I will have a couple more bowls where I'm going to measure things into today. Just because this isn't from my heart, this is from the internet. So, I don't know this recipe off by heart. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm ready for Christmas. I have family coming over for Christmas this year, and I am excited to have everybody here. My husband is Italian, so on Christmas Eve we do a fish spaghetti. This is a hot little onion. We do a special fish spaghetti with the family, and then on Christmas Day, generally speaking, my side of the family gets together, and that often spills out to some of his side of the family as well. Now, I need some celery. Now, I need the equivalent of about 2 stalks of celery. I think I may have a little more than that here, so maybe I'll remove some of that. I'm going to use the little heart pieces too, because they're quite tasty. People tend to throw them away, but I find them to be really tasty. So I am not going to toss that out. And I'm going to chop these pretty fine. Give the sausage a stir. Seems to be coming along just fine. And as we get to the end of that, I'm going to add it into the same bowl that the onions are in. And I feel it's coming together quite quickly now. I should have a quick look at the gnocchi in the oven, because they've been in there for 10 minutes now, and I'm just going to have a peek. It should be 20 to 30 minutes, but because I haven't made this recipe before, I'm going to look. I have the celery and the onion all chopped up waiting to go into the pan. So now I am going to use a slotted spoon, and I'm going to remove the sausage from the pan and put it into this bowl. And then I'm going to put the onions and celery right into this pan and start to cook them down. And that'll take about 8 minutes. And in we go. Now, we need to put some spices or some herbs into this. So I am going to chop up 4 cloves of garlic and a bit of fresh sage and also some fresh thyme. Now these are all things that go really well with the other ingredients in the dish. So we are making a wonderful flavor profile here, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. So we've got the garlic. Maybe I could stand to chop it a little more. It wouldn't hurt. I can hear my celery and onions over there. I'm going to just throw this garlic in. Give it a stir. And I'm going to turn this way down while I get the sage. And I'm going to try for as many bits of time as I have patience for. I'm doing this in the later afternoon and I can see my light fading away. I hope that it's not too bad for you guys. All of these wonderful dishes that I'm not sure how this one would go in a make-ahead dish. I mean, really, that's the goal for all of us, is try and make as much as we can the day before the big event. I'll have to consider that as I cook through this and see if I think this could hold up to an extra day. All right. And I think if I'm just looking for a tablespoon, I probably have enough. Thyme. Thyme is kind of fussy. I've seen lots of hacks about how to get thyme off the stalk, including running a fork through it, all kinds of things. And while I consider myself a patient person, thyme definitely is something that gives me, or it works my patience. And yep, I'd say we're in good business there. So I'm going to set that aside. So I'm going to turn this back up, and just briefly, I'm going to toss in the thyme and the sage. I'm going to add a tablespoon of oil to this, and I am going to add about 3 cups of packed pre-washed spinach, the baby spinach leaves, the little tender ones. And I'm going to count 3 large handfuls as 3 packed cups. There we go. I'm going to cook that about 2 minutes until it wilts down really good, and I'm going to keep stirring it as I go. We're just about to the assembly stage. You can probably hear the spinach just starting to quiet down. I'm going to spray a 13 by 9 baking pan. My pan got away on me there. And I'm going to move on to this last little bit of a step. I need 2 cups of chicken stock. Oh, let's see if I can get into it. I need 2 cups of chicken stock. And I am going to break 2 eggs and give them a quick whisk. And now I'm going to start to assemble these things. I'm going to add these 2 eggs into this pitcher. And I'm going to mix it up into this 2-cup measuring cup. And I am going to set this in the sink. I am going to grab this. And I'm going to put the mixture that we made with the onions and celery and thyme and sage and garlic all in here with the meat. Wow, it smells really great in here. Now I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab the gnocchi that I've removed from the oven. Now, it's just turned light brown, so I'm assuming that's how we want it. And I've reset the oven temperature to 350 degrees. Hot, 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 hot. And right now, I'm going to give another final shake of salt to everything. And I'm going to pour this right over everything in the bowl. And I need a big spoon that I can mix this all up with. And then I am going to, once I've got it all mixed through here, I'm going to dump it into the big bowl, or sorry, into the baking pan. And I'm going to spread it all about, and I'm going to try to get all of the gnocchi down inside that chicken stock. I'm assuming that's what's going to help rehydrate the chicken stock. Now, this is going to go into a 350 degree oven, and it's going to go for 40 minutes. Well, so far, folks, this smells delicious and looks really good. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this one will be a keeper. Now, the second side dish that I'm making today is a honey glazed carrot that's been roasted in the oven and has a buttermilk dressing. Now, I bought these carrots with the stems on, and you can cut them off until you just have, you know, for presentation, a little bit of the carrot left over. I'm going to trim off the bottom bit, and then I am going to give these a scrub. Whoops, that one I was just doing automatically and cut the top and the bottom off. I think that I feel more comfortable maybe cutting the top and bottom off because it's really hard to scrub in this part of the carrot that still touches the ground. So I'm probably feeling more inclined to cut them off. But if you want the presentation, then definitely make sure that you have a little bit of the stem left on, and you can trim it if you like. And this is definitely enough for us. You could make this batch grow or shrink according to the size of the group that you're cooking for. So now I'm just going to wash this up, and then I'm going to put the carrots onto a dry towel and dry them. Now, we're going to dry them because we're going to add honey to them, and we want the honey to stick. And with the water on, it will tend to run off. So dry them up, peel away any rooty bits that seem to be I like carrots at this stage when you can use them without peeling them. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to use the same cookie tray that I had earlier. The foil wasn't messed up by anything, so I'm just going to add the carrots to this. I am going to add just a little drizzle of olive oil over them. And these are going to go into a 400-degree oven so that they can roast quite quickly, and they'll roast in about 25 to 30 minutes. Just going to give them a run up and down the pan, and then I'm going to do a drizzle of honey on top. And just make sure that they're all covered with a bit of honey. I'm going to set that in the sink because I have honey all over the place now. And now I am going to put this into the oven. 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes, or until a fork or a knife inserted into them comes away and you know that they're cooked fully through. And then I'll be back to make the dressing for this really simple side dish. The carrots are just about done in the oven, so let's get on making this dressing. It's simple as can be. I have a half a cup of buttermilk in here, and I'm just going to grab some sour cream, and I'm going to use a half a cup of sour cream, so easy peasy. If you were making a large batch, then you would probably want to increase the ingredients in this, but keep them equal. So if you're making a large batch, you may want to go to 1 cup of buttermilk and 1 cup of sour cream. And we do this because we want to counteract the sweetness of the honey that we've roasted the carrots in and that we're going to add right here at the end. So I am going to give this a stir. Now this is completely optional. You can just leave this like this, but in this case I am going to add a little bit of dill right into the dressing. Give it a good stir. And now I am going to bring my serving dish over, and I'm going to lay that buttermilk dressing down. And I'm going to taste this now. I wondered if it needed salt, but it doesn't. It's just the way it is. Now I'm just going to grab the carrots from the oven and we'll finish this off. Now we're just going to lay the carrots right down in the buttermilk dressing. And I am just going to rid myself of that hot pan. And last, but certainly not least, if I had chives, I would use them, but I have spring onions or green onions, so I'm just going to do a little onion along the top. And some pomegranate seeds. Now you could buy a pomegranate from the store and open it up and take the seeds out yourself, or you could buy one of these handy little pomegranate, I didn't know they were called fresh arrows. Anyway, the little seeds that have already been taken from the pomegranate and taken all the work out of it for you. And we are just going to lay that on there pretty heavily. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. And here's what this dish looks like. Now I'm excited to dive into these too, so I'm going to plate some up and I will let you know how I feel about each of these two dishes that I've made for you today. Here I am with the Noki Stuffing, and I'm going to put some of that out onto my plate. In fact, I've put quite a bit on there. And then I am going to add some carrots. Move this stuff out of the way a little bit so you can see what I've got going on here, and I'm going to try the carrots first. Make sure I got some dressing on. That is delicious. I love the balance between the sweetness of the honey and the carrots on there. And now I'm going to get onto the Noki stuffing. Try and get a little bit of everything into this bite. That is delicious. That I can see myself making again and again and again. Also the carrots. There is nothing wrong with that at all. They are really good. I look forward to serving this up at a party soon because I know that I'm going to get lots of compliments on this one. Folks, as we are all preparing now for the Christmas season, I want you to keep in mind that if you can afford to buy these ingredients, there are lots of people out there that can't. So think about giving this holiday season simple things maybe. Share cookies with your neighbors, or give if you can to a food bank. But definitely keep others in mind during this season. So once again, folks, I want to say thank you to everyone who is subscribed to the channel. Those of you who make comments, please let me know where you're from. I love to know that. It makes my heart warm to know that the channel is reaching all around the world. And I want to thank everyone for helping me to be where I am today on this YouTube journey. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel and this is your first time here, or maybe you've come back a few times, please subscribe and hit that little notification bell so that you know when I've put up a new video. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Please take care, everyone. Bye-bye.